Coming up on Valley News now, we'll take you out to Moorhead as there was a big police chase over the weekend, but the suspect is still at large. We'll have an update.
Plus, the latest in the search for the remains of 25-year-old Isadora Wengel, how search efforts went this weekend and when the next effort is planned, and how you can get involved. Valley News Now is live.
And thank you very much for joining us on this afternoon update here. Duke Schindler taking the reins here as Devin is out here today. But we have a good show packed here for you on your afternoon update. We're going to start with the weather here because it's been gorgeous these last few days and even the past kind of week. But we have 2 first alert weather days coming up, and it could bring some very, very large amounts of snow. So let's send things over to our Summer Schnellbach.
I'm meteorologist Summer Schnellbach, just outside of our station again, trying to enjoy some of this nice weather that we've had really for the last handful of days. Taking advantage of it now because this time tomorrow things will start to change. By this time tomorrow, we're going to have some very strong winds, gusting over 40 miles per hour at times in parts of the valley. And it will be a lot cloudier as well. Temperatures will still be okay. We're still looking at some 30s and low 40s for high temperatures for our Tuesday, but it won't feel as nice because of the cloud cover and because of the wind. Then by late tomorrow afternoon into the evening, rain starts to lift in from the south. This is that winter storm we've been talking about for the better part of a week. It starts to move in tomorrow and Wednesday, both first alert weather days as well. So we start out with some rain. In fact, we might even hear a few rumbles of thunder. Severe weather, not expected in terms of thunderstorms. But late in the day, once temperatures start to drop, that rain will change over to wintry mix and freezing rain as it continues to lift north. It's going to be cold enough in the northern valley for snow right from the get-go. So we're looking at change over to all snow Tuesday night into Wednesday and heavy snow. At that, this snow is going to hold a lot of moisture. It's coming from the Pacific. It's not coming from that dry air in Canada. It's going to hold a lot of moisture. So it's going to be that wet, heavy type snow. And snowfall rates could be heavy as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some rates of more than 1 inch per hour at times. So that continues Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Wednesday, we see snow showers throughout the day. Not quite as windy as our Tuesday, but we'll still see some gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour. So restricting visibility even further than just the falling snow is expected. Blizzard conditions are not expected at this point, but visibility not going to be great. Travel impacts are expected with the heavy, wet snow. And this is the snow that they call heart attack snow. It's heavy, it's wet to shovel, and that can put physical strain on your body and on your heart. So keep that in mind ahead of the storm for cleanup. Maybe, as meteorologist Lisa Green said this morning, if you can borrow a snowblower, that would be good too. As for snowfall amounts, some areas north could very likely see more than 6 inches of accumulation. A few areas could see more than a foot of accumulation. Again, that's in the northern valley. We're going to break down our very latest forecast for you tonight on Valley News Live. You don't want to miss it.
And if you're going to be in those areas where you could potentially see a foot of snow, make sure you plan accordingly because that is a significant amount that can really put people at large here. And we'll take a look at road conditions here coming up at the end of our little broadcast here as we continue moving on with a big police chase that happened this weekend in Moorhead. But the suspect right now is still at large. Now on Saturday, police say this happened near Moorhead. A Minnesota State trooper tried to stop a stolen vehicle. That's when a driver fled, leading to a brief pursuit that was soon discontinued. Now the suspect did abandon the car and fled on foot near the College Park Apartments. This law enforcement does describe the suspect as a male wearing a black face mask. Officials believe they do know the suspect's identity but have been unable to locate him. And bringing things back here, it's North Dakota. They are seeing a spike in measles cases. 6 confirmed cases have been reported, with 5 in Pembina County and 1 in Williams County. Now, one individual, I should say, is currently hospitalized, and 4 of the cases are adults. So health officials have identified several public locations where contagious individuals did visit. Now, details on these exposure sites are available on the state's health website. As health officials remind you, unvaccinated individuals do face the highest risk. And for more information on these cases and where they're standing at right now, all you have to do is head to valleynewslive.com and click on the story. And we'll kind of round things out here. It's happening very soon here. A Vietnam War veteran is going to be receiving full military honors here in Fargo. We'll pull up the video here as Sergeant Clifford Hurley Brenner, a Green Beret medic, served in the U.S. Army from 1966 to 1969. He earned numerous commendations, including a combat medical badge and the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry. Brenner, who was unclaimed, will be honored at noon Tuesday at the Fargo National Cemetery. The Fargo Memorial Honor Guard will conduct the service, and the public is also invited to attend. It's always nice representing one of our own here in North Dakota after great service there. And then in our digital exclusive here, after the community-wide search for Isadora Wengel this past Sunday, another community search is in store for Isadora, and that's going to be planned this weekend. Now, according to the Bring Isadora Home Facebook page, a search is planned this Sunday in Battle Lake. For more on this, we're going to send things over to Valley News Live reporter Harrison Prey and Jessica Bringy, who gives us more information on this search.
Duke, yesterday in East Dyke Park, there was a search organized. About volunteers came out to look for the remains of 25-year-old Isadora Wengel. Nothing has been found. That search spanning from Fargo, Moorhead into Otter Tail County. Now, our own Harrison Prey is joining us to talk about another search now being organized from a different group this time.
Yeah, a different group was organized. Obviously, yesterday there was around 100 people looking for, Isadora Wengel, her remains, and what Fargo police believe. They're looking for that black tote. And this Facebook group was created just, last second from the organizer that I talked to. And it's something that they're trying to get more and more volunteers going forward and hopefully, able to expand their search.
This search happening again on a Sunday, correct?
Yes, this is going to happen on a Sunday. And really, this Facebook group is just trying to reach out to anybody nearby in the Otter Tail County area. Obviously, we know yesterday it was in Fargo. They're trying to expand it in Otter Tail County. Look for any trail camera footage, things that will be able to help in the search for Isadora.
And we do know also volunteers, searchers have been marking off on a map as they go along just to make sure we're not repeating search areas and actually expanding that search, which is, again, although separate, it sounds like this search is trying to do as well.
Yeah, they're trying to obviously, expand their search, not look in the same area over and over again, but the more volunteers, the better, was what the organizer had told me. So when you're able to come together, have a more coordinated effort, I'm sure the more volunteers that they're able to add, the easier it'll be, and it'll be more focused.
We have spoken with the Fargo Police Department, the chief actually supporting these volunteer and community efforts. Of course, there is information, and we'll have information about how interested volunteers can get involved. That will be coming up, though, tonight at 6.
Correct.
All right. Thank you so much, Harrison.
Of course.
And like you heard there, tonight at 6, we'll be able to get to hopefully a little more information on this search and the search parties that are going on for Isadora Wengel. Now, before we let you go, we'll take a look at your road conditions here as we head to the later hours of the day and your trek home right now as we move things over to our road maps here. Everything's around the area, I should say, is looking pretty good, but as you can see right near Devil's Lake, we see a little bit of that striped purple. We're going to see scattered snow drifts around that area, and then a little bit of blue. That's going to be your wet and slush. And if you listen to Summer or missed what she had to say, we're going to see a lot more wet and slush coming up on these next couple days here as we're expecting plenty of precipitation here. So It's going to be a wet, heavy snow that's coming. Going to probably see a lot more of this wet slush, this blue area when we take a look at these maps here tomorrow. But that striped purple, that's going to be scattered snowdrifts just around Devil's Lake here. Taking a look at what that looks like here, the picture being snapped just a few minutes ago here. It looks like just under 10 minutes. Yeah, you can see some wind picking up here, but really otherwise it's just kind of clearish road conditions. Obviously got to make sure you're driving for the conditions, but with that sun that we've been getting here recently melting a little bit of these roads, it makes at least for a little bit easier trek of a drive. But this picture being snapped just about 15 minutes ago here, you can see some of that extra and excess snow just kind of melting and then turning into that slush that can drag your car in ways you don't want it to drag and move. But you see a little bit of striped blue here. That's going to be scattered wet and slush areas, but otherwise around Fargo, really not too shabby here. We'll take a look at one camera. Pretty clear. That's as good of roads as we've seen in quite some time. Now moving over to the Minnesota side of things, really nothing much to look at here. Lots of green. Looks like pretty easy driving conditions as we head home from work here today. Not too bad, but I'll bring things back here and wrap up the show. Thank you very much for joining us here on your Valley News Now afternoon update. For Duke Schindler, thank you very much, for joining us here. If you have a smartphone mobile device, gotta say it, make sure you download the VNN News app. You can get all the Valley News Live, Valley News Now, whatever we're doing here on the desk, as well as our newscast there, you can get on the app, as well as a smart TV. If you got one, might as well download the VNN News app on there. Roku, Fire Stick / Amazon, and Roku, all available, and then Apple TV as well. But thank you very much for joining us here on your afternoon update for Duke Schindler. We'll catch you in about 10 minutes here for the 4 p.m.